Quin's rating all the ARPGs. I've played most of these because, you know, I'm a pretty huge Diablo fan, so I've played all of the Diablos. I've played Lost Ark. Last Epoch is one I'm playing currently. Grim Dawn is actually, ironically, my favorite. My favorite out of even Diablo. Yeah, Diablo used to be my favorite until I played Grim Dawn, and then Grim Dawn took it over. By then, D3 was the current Diablo game, so by then we were kind of, you know, Diablo was at its end, more or less, so... Yeah, some of these I haven't played, like that Chaos Bane. Wolcen, I've been contemplating buying. I've had my eye on Wolcen since like D3 when they first announced they were making it and stuff years ago. But then I forgot about it because, you know, that's what I hate about when people talk about making a game so early and then it takes them so long to make it, and then it's like, oh yeah, that game. Yeah. Anyway.
Look at, we got a tier list. So I'm gonna rank the ones I know about, right? Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. Diablo 1. All right.
I guess that makes sense.
Now, to be clear here.
Or you could just put it in
current
D.
year tier list. So what it is currently. Not what it was for the time. Okay? We got dog tier, we got god tier, we got A, B. So this is like just a, what, average? This is...
Yeah, but, you know, that's all fine and dandy. But the reality is if a game stayed good, it should still be in the current year, right? Like, for example, D2 is one that a lot of people have loved for years. So just because it's an older game, like, I would hope he'd still rank that high if he likes it. You know, it's his tier list, so, you know.
Pretty this is complete dog shit. This is like fucking amazing. Diablo 1. I did not play it on release. I played it in the current year.
I played it...
current year. I played it in 2020, I want to say 2022 or something.
I cannot believe that. It's so crazy to me that Quin, a person that built his career off of Diablo, like he was playing, well, D3 was the current when he got big. And it's so crazy to think that you got big off D3, but you never played the first until like this year or last year. Like, wow. Yeah. Diablo was one of my first games, I want to say almost ever, but I guess not quite. But let's say it was the second PC game I had ever played. My very first PC game was Unreal Tournament. And then it was Diablo, and then it was Warcraft. Yes, Warcraft was played after. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, and it was fun back then. Now, I don't know, I did rebuy it because you can buy it on the Battle.net now. So I did rebuy it, and I'm curious to see if I would still like it in the current year. And I guess I understand why he's doing current year, because some games, they are nice to kind of do a flashback to and, you know, play again. But the hype always, you know, like, I know this won't be the case for everyone, but Classic WoW's that for me. It was nice to relive a bit of Classic again, but the reality is we're not in 2004, and it's not the same fucking game, and they've changed the rules, and yeah, it's just not the same. And so that might be the case for, you know, like, if he had played Diablo, that could be the case for Diablo in this current year, right? But I will say, as someone who has gone back, not super recently, but in the last couple of years, gone back to D2, some games are just awesome, you know? Some games just stay really good.
Maybe
So anyway, I'm gonna do a tier list with him. So I would put. Let's see where he. Should I do it before or after? Yeah, we'll see his, and then I'll. Or I could do mine so that you guys don't think I'm like copying him. Okay, I'll do mine first. And then yeah. I would put. Well, I think he's probably gonna rank Diablo bad anyway because he hasn't played it. And I'm surprised, didn't he just say that he's not going to put games he didn't play into the tier list? Like, did he not just say that? But anyway, I would put it in A. I don't think it's God tier, but it's better than B, C, and Dog.
maybe it was like 2022. Thing is, it's what started everything, but ultimately, I don't care about what started everything. I care about what is now. Honestly, the game was just kind of all right. It definitely wasn't bad. It was fun to go through, play through one time. I would say, dude, it was fucking. It was fucking bad, bro. It was kind of shit. It was kind of shit. I'll be honest. It was kind of shit.
He was probably worried about that one.
It was kind of dog shit.
I'm just gonna say the worry would be D2 because you're gonna offend people no matter where you put D2, unless you put it in God tier. But there are a lot of D2 lovers.
It was. I remember there was like succubus guys. The pathing was bad. I mean, the coolest part was when the butcher came into that one room. I mean, I liked the gore and everything, but you know, the gameplay was kind of shit. Okay, D2. I played a lot of D2 and a lot of D2R. And let me tell you.
Okay. Mine for D2 would be. I rank it pretty high. I would put D2 as an A because the second Diablo was my favorite for a long time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
D2. I get for its I mean, D2 literally started everything, didn't it? And it was like really the first ARPG that like popped off, I think, and really like fucking people got it.
Well, technically, the first Diablo started everything, but D2 by then Diablo had more players. It's kind of like you know, there's a lot of people that didn't play the first Warcraft, but you know, then they came later in the expansions of it, you know. So, and I'm not talking World of Warcraft, just Warcraft. And so same deal with Diablo, like, you know, it's gonna grow as people get to know it. By the time D2 showed up, people were pretty familiar with Diablo. So there was more players.
But it doesn't matter. I genuinely, playing D2 in the current year, I find it to be absolutely mediocre.
Come on.
But then I've got to increase it. I've got to increase it because of the fact that it had such a large impact on all the other games. And so many other games drew from it, right? It's A. It's A tier.
Good one.
Like, so many of the good ideas from D2 were taken. And I think ARPG scene as a whole would look completely different if it wasn't for D2. If I was going up purely off my current year enjoyment of the game, I would rate it lower, but I'm boosting it. Diablo 3. The game that...
the game that made him. Before he goes through what's probably going to be a bit of a spiel because it's the game that made him. D3, ironically, is my favorite Diablo. So I don't know if I'd put it in God tier. I think I put it with A. I put it with D2 because, you know, while it's my favorite, I still really love D2 as well. You know, I think in a sense they both were kind of my favorite. There is a game I can already tell I will put in God tier, but and you could probably tell because I kind of hinted at it earlier, but I think D3 is an A. I wonder where he's gonna put it because I think think he trashed it a lot in the end, and it had its, it had its time. They stopped working on seasons and stuff, and I stopped being so active with D3 around season 15. So like it definitely kind of fell off, but I think overall like 15 seasons pretty fucking good. Yeah. And that was while I was still playing WoW every day basically. So, yeah, I'd say, yeah. At least for me, that showed how good it was. But we'll see.
Literally.
So for me, A.
Changed my life, and to be honest, I don't know if I would have been a streamer if it wasn't for Diablo 3 existing. I mean,
and I might not be a big streamer like Quin, but D3 built this Twitch. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I built my stream off of D3. I just didn't build it to the to the amount he did, but majority of these follower numbers on this Twitch, they're from that game. Yeah. Yeah, whenever I would play WoW on Twitch, it flopped so badly. It wasn't until I started building the World of Warcraft YouTube page that we started doing better YouTube-wise or Twitch-wise for World of Warcraft. But even now, even if I went and played D4, which is kind of crappy, I would still bring in probably more people than I do with WoW. Like, yeah, WoW I do good on YouTube, and Twitch I do good with Diablo and games like Diablo. Yeah. And that just has a lot to do with how my streams were back then. There was a lot of hype around D3 back then, so. And, I played D3 with people, so that probably helped too. People would come in to get some, Paragon levels and stuff, and, and we did puzzle ring runs, and yeah, it was probably the most interactive streams I did were the D3 ones.
I would have been a Hearthstone streamer. Who knows? Maybe if I played Hearthstone, I would have, maybe.
I cannot see him as a Hearthstone streamer. Wow. No fucking way. No. I think he would have been something in that genre of games. If it hadn't been D3, I think, well, I want to say PoE because that's what he became afterwards anyway, but the thing is during D3, he also was doing some raids in WoW later on, not right at the beginning, but later on when D3 started kind of going down, he had swapped his streams to WoW raids and then PoE. So I think that's kind of where he would have been. He might have been just like a WoW streamer, maybe, but I don't know. I think he probably would have been variety, honestly. Yeah, because I put up with WoW because I'm a 20-year player, but someone like him, I don't know if he could keep going in a game that's going downhill. Yeah, I don't know. I think he would need, because he's an endgame player. He would need more. Yeah. So I think he would probably just be a PoE streamer like he basically is now.
Maybe I played Hearthstone would have popped off as well. Who knows? It would have been different. It would have been a different. Yeah, it was between Diablo 3 and Hearthstone. Those are the two games that I was thinking about playing.
Really? Okay. Hearthstone? So we're not joking? I thought he was joking. Wow. See, someone else up there says WoW streamer. See, I think he would have to an extent. Like I said, he's an end game. And Endgame sucks right now in WoW, Like, I'm just gonna say. Yeah. So I think he would have. I think he'd be a PoE streamer no matter what. Yeah. PoE streamer with a little variety, which I believe is what he does now. Like, I don't know how much variety is there, but I know I don't really watch him a whole lot, but the very few times I've watched him, it's been D3 WoW raids, but that was like back in like Legion and then PoE. Yeah. But I'm sure he plays other stuff.
And streaming. Ended up going with D3. Chad, I was pushing Legend in the beta. What are you talking about? Blind. Hearthstone's easy for me. Easy. Now, who cares about Hearthstone? Diablo 3. I genuinely so remember I didn't play D3 on launch. Whenever D3 got launched, it came out. I was on exercise in the military. I couldn't play it. I came back. Everyone said D3 was bad and it was dog shit and it was a dead game. Then I stopped. I played.
That's because people judge a game off of its launch. The reality is games have bad launches. It happens. Like that is why D3 got a little hate then. And it's why you still have some people saying that, it was always crap. It was not always crap, but you have a bad launch and people don't forgive that, like realistically, numbers don't lie. A lot of people played D3.
I played it for like 2 days. I was like, whatever, dude, I'm out. I quit. I came back years later after Reaper's Souls are released, and that's when I started playing the game. And honestly, the game was, to me, very fun, very good, and I really did enjoy it. Then Josh Mascara, quit, and the game just stagnated, and they actively patched it to make it worse.
Yeah, that was around season,
but I'm still going to put D3 at 8 there.
10 to 15.
To me, I remember the glory days of early Reaper Souls
nice.
When they first were doing the beta tests and they're first doing the, the PTRs for, seasons, implementing seasons. It's 8 there, bro. It's 8 there.
For sure. For sure. No, I am glad he put it in.
Yeah, I get it. Right now, Diablo 3's a bit of a dead meme, but who cares? D4.
I'm just going to say, and this will fit perfectly in with his D4, but 2 weeks into D4, I was back in D3. I had loaded D3 back up, and I had played the season. So I'm just going to say, am I playing right now? No. D3 is, D3 has become D2 in a way. And I don't mean that as far as gameplay. I know some people love D2 more than D3. I mean that it's pushed to the side. It's not the major game that's getting the updates, right? So it's tough to stay playing a game that's not getting the major updates. Now, does that mean I'm playing D4? No. I think, to be fair, when Last Epoch showed up, I decided that was my game. Grim Dawn is technically my game, but as far as new games go, I decided Last Epoch gives me more enjoyment than D4 does. I had my hype of D4 for the first little bit, but I don't want to hop back in, and it's just I just don't see a point in it. Not unless they do something super amazing. I realistically should have went with my gut feeling with D4 before it even released, before there was betas and alphas and all that. I really didn't like the atmosphere of it, and I should have just known that there was no way I was going to get past that. So, yeah, I had a bad feeling, and that wasn't even gameplay related, Yeah. Which sucked because I love the first 3. But But I didn't like Immortal, so which I imagine he's getting to next. But since we're on the ramble and we're paused, I will give my my rating. D4 is dog tier. Sorry, gonna say it. Any game that makes me fucking go back to their last game 2 weeks in, and any game that has a super, super expensive store and a $65 amount, doesn't even bring in the leaderboard for a while, has a gauntlet that I believe went to shit. I haven't been playing it, so I don't know. Yeah, it's just dog tier. I hate to say it. I hate to put one of my favorite, series into a dog tier, but it belongs there. Oh my god, did he put it in dog tier too? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Like, is he gonna keep it there?
It's fucking dog shit.
Oh, fuck yeah,
honestly,
it is.
It's a console game, right? Let's be honest, it's a console game that they ported to PC.
True.
And they are just milking the intellectual property that is D2 and then was D3. And D4 is just a fucking husk of what it should be. The developers seem like they're quite incompetent. They have had so much time, so much money, and such a good IP to work with, and they're just putting out such dog shit. Now, I think the game could be better. Do you know what? I might even raise it to C.
No, keep it in dog. Keep it in dog.
I'm going to put it at C.
No.
It's not complete dog shit.
Go with your first
I feel like
gut.
It has potential. No, I'm putting it at C.
No.
I'm putting it at C. Because there's a non-zero
you were
chance
doing so
that if
good.
the right dev team gets put on the game, they could patch the shit out of it. They could get inspired by games like Last Epoch and stuff where they see like, oh wow, you can actually add a bit of complexity in the game and it's still super easy to understand and still fun. I feel like it's possible. And because of that, it's like, it got a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and put 24.
Yeah. Buddy up there in your chat had a good point, which I've made this point once already, but you said current year. You said current fucking year. So if you think it's shit right now, it's shit. Like, wasn't that the whole point? Is that this is the tier list for the current year?
See. And on top of that, I can't have, like, there's games worse than Diablo 4, chat. Diablo Immortal.
Diablo Immortal belongs in dog tier with D4. Like, Diablo Immortal, what was that? Built for the whales and only the whales? Like, who else even played that game? Like, not to mention, it's the game that is the reason for that meme. Don't you guys have phones? Yeah. It's, thinking back to that BlizzCon too, it's like, not only was there that, but then we finally did get D4 and it was garbage. So no matter what, that announcement was just, well, they wouldn't have known that D4 was going to be garbage at that time. But, no matter what, Diablo fans were getting hurt.
Literal, honestly, gutter trash. I should actually make another fucking... Oh, do you know what I could do as well? I could actually just make another fucking thing, yeah. Do you want to see this?
Gutter.
All right.
Well, now I got... Yeah, no, get rid of gutter trash. God, I hate that you did that. Now I have to decide between dog tier and gutter trash for these. Like, what? Why couldn't we just stick to dog tier? Like, what the fuck? Damn it. Okay, well, if gutter trash is gonna stay, then D4 and Diablo Immortal are now in gutter trash for me.
Trash. All right, Diablo Immortal is a fucking travesty of a game. Shouldn't exist. Honestly, it's sad. Whenever this Blizzard basically died for me there. This really cemented, like, oh wow, they really have sold out everything and they don't give a fuck at all.
They did for me too, and I remember, and even to this day, I get the people who think that mobile gaming is real gaming, but back then I was like, a mobile game, even the fucking Warcraft mobile game people are playing right now. Nope. I played it to get that pet, and that is it. I haven't been back since. Mobile games are garbage. And yeah, they had no choice. They had to bring that to PC. There was no fucking way. Like, yes, mobile gamers do exist. Yes, they do good in certain places in the world. But your Diablo community is a PC community. Like, come on.
And they're just trying to milk every last cent out of their fucking, whatever's left of their fan base. And they give zero fucks about you. They don't respect you. They actively spit on you. They don't respect you. Like, ultimately, that's what it is. It's awful.
I totally agree with all of that, because that's the feeling I got too when even when they just announced it, not even releasing it. When they announced it, when they released it and decided to put it on PC, I was like, yeah, of course you would. You kind of had to go that way. And I think it's really, I get that content is content, but I was very disturbed that a lot of streamers put a lot of money into that, because you helped to build it, basically, like, yeah, you helped to fund that game, even if you were doing it for content reasons. Like, yeah, and yeah, that game's just complete fucking garbage. And definitely the game where they basically gave you a big fuck you if you were a Diablo fan. Yeah. And also, that game is the reason D4 has the store it does and is selling $65 mounts. People didn't think that would happen, and why would they not think it would happen? Like, that was just stupid. Once you start doing something that is somewhat successful for them, they're not going to just stop. It's the whole reason we have the store on WoW. That store's never going away. And eventually we'll be buying the stupidest fucking things. Well, you don't have to buy them, but they'll be selling the stupidest fucking things on that store to get more money, right? Same deal.
It should, honestly, it should be illegal to make a game like this. And actually, a lot of multiple regions and countries actually banned the game because it was that bad. It's fucking, it's literal trash.
Because it's like gambling.
Grim Dawn.
Okay, Grim Dawn, here we go. Grim Dawn is the best fucking game out of this whole list. It belongs in God tier. I don't know if he's gonna put it in God tier, but it belongs in God tier. Grim Dawn is an awesome game. I suggest it to pretty much anyone that's ever seen me play it, and I'll suggest it to you guys right now. But, the only downfall is if you don't like the challenge of, like, when you die, you lose experience. So you gotta, like, get that back. But I like that aspect. That's a nice challenge, and it makes it so that you're a little more careful, and you're not just like, you're thinking all your actions, right? Because, if you die nonstop, you're going to actually lose a lot of experience, Yeah. So, but yeah, God tier, Grim Dawn.
Character progression, itemization is decent. The gameplay is solid. Doesn't have secure online servers. I'm not compelled to, like...
Oh, it's the online gonna do them in?
Really. And because of that, honestly, bro, Grim Dawn is like I honestly, it's like a fucking, bro, I think it's like a C tier, bro.
You were doing so, okay, B is better than C, but you were doing so good. You could put it in A.
It's a B tier game. For this game to go higher, I would need to be like, whatever. I would need it to be, when it comes to my ARPGs, it would need to be probably, some, it would need more fucking live service aspect.
I figured he was going to say that.
I need it to be online for it to go up. It's never going to go past. Well, it could go past B tier if it was just fucking correct, but it's not.
See, one thing I've always really liked with Grim Dawn, and I feel like in a sense, they just don't do it as severe as Grim Dawn does, but in a sense, Last Epoch kind of has been doing this, and they probably got it from Grim Dawn, because, by then there's a lot of ARPGs out there. But Grim Dawn, you can kind of do whatever you want with your character. You can make a lot of different characters in that game off of the same class, basically, right? So yeah, and the atmosphere is nice. The only thing I think that might steer people away is the old feel it has, and it was built that way. It's this ain't like an 80s game, right? Like it was built to give you that old feel. It was built for Diablo fans, right? Mainly D2 fans. So it's supposed to be like that, but I know that some people like that older feel, and then others need the new feel, right? I could see his point on the online, though.
Lost Ark, it's definitely better than D4.
Lost Ark is a tough one for me because I think I'll put it in C, which is saying a lot because I only gave it 1 day. The reason I stopped playing Lost Ark is because I saw the microtransactions. I didn't want a game like that. I have well, at that time, well, D4 wasn't out yet. So at that time, I think I had 2 games with pretty heavy microtransaction. Well, I don't know. WoW being one, I feel like WoW isn't pretty heavy. Like, yeah, it's, they throw a fucking item in the shop like once every few months, so not really that big of a deal. But Disney cycles out their shop every week, and to buy everything's like $60 real cash. So yeah, that's why I pretty much, and whenever people ask me if they should start playing Disney, I'll be honest, I say no. Yeah. I say go watch the cartoon. Because if they're the type of person where the micro transactions can like reel them in, they'll be losing a lot of money. Yeah. So that was kind of my deal with Lost Ark. I didn't want to get involved with a microtransaction game. Also, the look was yeah. Yeah. The 1 day I played it was fun. But I just don't think it could be a game that I could get into for years. And that's what I look for when I play an ARPG, is a game like, like D3, I played pretty much its whole duration. I stopped maybe a year before it was done. But yeah, so when it comes to ARPGs, like, I'm a longtime player with those, and I just didn't feel I could be with Lost Ark. So C.
But I wouldn't rate it anything more than the seat there, honestly. It's
Nice.
It's one of these games where I knew whenever it came, like, it was overhyped and people are really fiending for a game, but I can't vote it because if it's weeb aesthetic, there's the weeb aesthetic, like, it instantly loses points.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
I can handle a bit of weeb aesthetic, but the weeb aesthetic was too much. Okay, straight up and down running it on that.
I think the weeb shit is good. It's fine if it's like a playthrough that ends or something. But if it's a game that's like just on and on and on, yeah, you can only handle it for so long,
The gameplay to me was not good.
Unless you're into that shit, of course. But C is exactly where it belongs.
I remember I played on laggier servers, so maybe that it contributes to it. It pissed me off, the lag. Yeah, it is what I don't like the combat. I'm not a huge fan of the combat. you know, whatever that pisses you off, whatever. On top of that, there's way too many.
The reality is you were gonna piss someone off. Lost Ark in C, like I'm with you. It belongs in C, but there are a lot of weebs. Just saying. Yep. Yeah. So you're gonna piss off the people that belong in that category. Yeah.
Bullshit hooks and too many things that remind me of mobile games. Like, oh, you need to log in and do this. You need to log in and do that. You need to get your weekly fucking
Oh,
tower
fuck
thing. You
yeah.
gotta get your fucking guardian.
Yes, Lost Ark had that too. Yeah, where it would be, collect this, collect that. And D4 has that too. Yeah, I remember Arsenal always giving me crap for not fucking clicking on things to collect them. And that is a mobile feature right there, is, having to, constantly collect things from playing 10 quests for the day or whatever. I know to some people it's just a challenge, whatever, but it's a very common feature in mobile games. Yeah.
Guardians down. You gotta do this fucking bull. It was too. There's too many things that were reminiscent of mobile games, and that are not because you don't like log in for fun. You log in because it feels almost like a job or something, right? We'll put a PoE at the bottom as well, right? I mean, Titan Quest. Okay, let's see it. All right, I haven't played Titan Quest. The fuck is 7? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's Torchlight.
I don't know what any of this is.
That's Torchlight 2, buddy. Yeah, you can see my cursor. This one's Torchlight, and then Torchlight 2 here, and then Torchlight 3.
V Rising, exceptionally mid. Yep.
I've never played V Rising. I think I have it, but I've never played it, so yeah, no vote from me on that one.
I don't know. It's weird because it feels quite clean, and technically I should really like the game. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I just get bored every time I play this game. It's weird. I should love this game, theoretically. I should love this game.
Is it like vampires?
Across a lot of things that I like. I don't know, man. It just doesn't do it for me. It's just missing some things that I need in order to really get hooked into a game, and I'm just not getting hooked enough. Maybe one day, but I don't.
Yeah, is V Rising an ARPG? I didn't think it was.
No,
but I haven't played it
both times. I had a pretty bad time.
Yeah, people in chat even are saying it's survival. Oh, they're also saying Lost Ark is not ARPG. That's right. Isn't Lost Ark supposed to be MMO? Let me see. Yeah, MMO. That's what I thought. And V Rising, I know nothing about that one, but I just have a feeling that it's not an ARPG. Yeah, survival. That guy in chat was right. Yeah. It's like you always have to double check because normally the people in chat are not right. so you always have to check.
Okay. What is this? Vikings? What are these weird
Vikings?
Things?
I've never played Vikings.
That, and it was fucking ultra mid, right?
No vote for me on Chaos Bane. I haven't played it.
I played that, right? Let me just check here. Yeah, well, I played it for 4.9 hours.
Whoa, 4 hours.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't remember why. I just remember it being boring as fuck. Wilson, Lords of Mayhem.
Wilson, I wish I could rate it, but I haven't played it yet. But it's one that I'm contemplating. So no vote for me. I can't vote on something I haven't played. But since he has played it and he's, it's like I want to say that, I'd like to trust his judgment because he plays a lot of ARPGs, but you should never trust someone's judgment. Everyone's opinion is their own. And if you want to play something, you just go play it like that. That's how it should be. You should never rely on any anyone else's opinion, but I am curious where he's going to place it. It will make no impact on me buying it. But I am curious, maybe I'll buy it a little sooner if it's kind of ranked up higher than a C. But let's see.
I mean, honestly, the gameplay was tight.
God tier? Really?
But everything else about the game and all of the core...
No game that has a butt in it gets God tier. So, yeah. See ya, God tier. Although you should have Grim Dawn in there.
Things that made up the game were just so bad, and it was unfinished. It was a buggy mess. I wouldn't rate it as bad. Do you know what? Maybe I put Gasman. No. That's right. Well, no.
It's just dog tier? Is it?
Did they fix them? It's dog tier. It's not God of Trash, but it's just dog tier.
Yeah, I'm still going to buy it and try it out, but
whatever.
Yeah.
Last Epoch.
Unfortunate.
Last Epoch.
Okay, Last Epoch. I feel like Last Epoch is almost too new to properly rate. As far as I know it's been out for a while, but now it's officially out where keeping the updates up to par is very important. Before, you could kind of get away with some stuff because it was still in early access, but now it's officially out. You've got a price tag to it, with cosmetics and shit. Like, you got to be all up on those updates, right? So I think it's a little early, but he did say current year, and I did buy it. I bought it the day after it officially released for like everyone, and I was hooked. I was very hooked. The only reason we're not playing Last Epoch lately is because the Thaumaturge came out, and that's another game that I am hooked to. So I would, at this time, I would rate Last Epoch pretty high. I would actually put it with the Diablo games. Oh, my bad. There's 4 Diablo games there. I would put it with D2 and D3 in A. I think it is very good. I like the playstyle. It's comfortable. The cosmetics feel very optional, so that's nice. And yeah, I just I've had a blast with Last Epoch, so I would put it in A. And I imagine he's probably gonna put it fairly high too, because I think he's been streaming Last Epoch. I think he actually likes it.
It's got secure online servers, right? It's got secure online servers. It's got good itemization. The gameplay is solid. The future looks bright, but it's still scuffed. I mean, there's literally typos in my.
That's where I would. Oh, he's like in it right now. Yeah.
It's not really a point for this, bro. But there's fucking typos in my goddamn basic static.
I noticed typos too. Okay. Yeah.
And bosses in this game are underwhelming. Now, could this?
I'm just gonna say I can't remember what I was watching earlier, but there was the conversation of, what if Blizzard, instead of releasing D4, had released like Last Epoch? And I'm just gonna say they would have gotten more hate than they get with the D4, because Last Epoch is really good because we're looking at it from the aspect of a small company doing this game, and it's really good for a small company, right? But a big company should never release something like Last Epoch, right? Like, yeah, you should expect better from a bigger company. So it really depends on how you're looking at the situation. But overall, I still go with my first thoughts. It's a great game. It belongs in the A tier, and yeah. I don't know if he's gonna pop it in that God tier, but it don't belong in God tier. The only game here that belongs in God tier is Grim Dawn. But Last Epoch gets close. Yeah. But it's just it's still a little too newish to even go in God tier. Plus, his point on the wording, like the spell correct, yeah, you gotta at least spell things right to even get into the God tier, you know?
Can get the God tier? I think it could. Maybe in a few years, because they got a long way to go.
Yeah,
exactly. They got a long way to
exactly.
go, bro. They got a long way to go, ultimately. And when I say they got a long way to go, I would go ahead and say this game I'm about to rate right now, chat, it hits upon everything.
Okay, hold on. I'll do mine. PoE, I've been pondering returning back to PoE just to see, because a lot of updates have happened with it since the last time I played it. The last time I played PoE was in 2017. So it's been a hot minute. There's been a lot of shit that has gone on in that game since 2017. So yeah, I've been thinking of returning to it, but remembering back to, 2017 when I played it, I liked the playthrough. It was addicting for a while. And it was one of those games. I don't know if you guys ever have that game where you step away for like a couple of weeks and then it's like nearly impossible for you to return back to that game. You're just off playing other games. That's kind of what happened with me. I never really hated PoE. Back then I was still playing D3, so there was a little bit of that where it was like, I still like D3 better. But now D3 I'm not really playing, and I'm not playing D4. And really the only ARPG that I'm playing that's new is Last Epoch, because, yes, I still play D2, but that's not new. That's an old game, right? So, yeah, and I guess PoE is old too, but it's a game getting constant updates. So yeah, I think I might give it a try again, maybe. And yeah, so anyway, off of, what I remember of it, I would put, and I know a lot of PoE fans would not like this answer because it's probably not high enough, but I would put it in B. I think it was a really good game, but it wasn't God tier to me. And I actually liked D3 better than PoE. And yeah. Keep in mind, this is his tier that you're seeing. So I would have Grim Dawn at God tier. So PoE would be the only game sitting in the B. So yeah, but that's where I would put in B. But I'm guessing he's gonna. I think it's a God tier game for him. Yeah, just like Grim Dawn is God tier for me.
Thing that is good in D2. It has all of the customization you could ever want, and maybe even too much. So much depth. The best crafting systems I've ever seen, hands down. And on top of that, the best boss fights in any ARPG I've ever played in my entire life. Second to none. PoE is literally, I want to say, compared to these other games, chat, like, yes, it's just A to God tier. It's like, this game is literally, I want to say 10x to 20x better than all these games. It's that much better. It's like 10 to 20x better. Yeah. It's like 10 to 20x better. It's not even close. I feel like they write the book on making good decisions in game design. Now, maybe, obviously, that's totally subjective. What I like and what you like are probably two different things, but I just love it. I love Chris Wilson, okay, and making you feel the weight of all these little things. I love the way that they make you choose between many different things, and they are all very good. And you're sitting there thinking, dude, there's so much OP shit I could go, but I don't know what to go. And you can't do it all. And you have to make these hard decisions, these hard choices. Not like, oh, I'm going to play the dog build. I'm going to play the fucking whatever. No. You can make whatever crazy combination, and there's going to be pros and cons to everything. There's going to be trade-offs to it all. I mean, I love you say same tree, whatever. Feel the way, whatever. Hey, could D2 ever make it to here? No. D2 is stagnant. D2 is whatever. D2 PoE stands on the shoulders. It's actually quite good that PoE is.
I think D2 is great, but D2 is like it's. I guess PoE. Someone in chat said it's been around for 10 years, but D2 is just it's great, but it's been great for a while, and it's I know to some they're a live and breathe die, Diablo 2. But for me it's a relive the old times, that's the kind of game it is to me. And I enjoy it, and it's good, but PoE probably would be better for, the updates and stuff. And I say probably because I haven't played PoE since 2017. So, yeah, but I would be saying the same thing if he had put Grim Dawn in God tier. The reality is, well, no. I was gonna, stop myself and say, well, when's the last Grim Dawn update? But they just did one, so yeah. So Grim Dawn's still getting updates fairly regular, somewhat.
It's over D2 because PoE is what D3 should have been, right? Let's be honest. If you were continuing what D2 was, like literally, this is D3 right here. This is the true Diablo 3. Okay. It stands on the shoulders of D2. And it does everything that D2 did right, better. And then it adds some, and then it stacks on a fucking skyscraper of content. Okay? I'm talking like too much content, bro, to the point where it's like, arguably there's maybe too much in-game. Okay? Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Could Ellie get there? Maybe one day. Could Grim Dawn get there? No, I think I think this is all stagnant. I think could
I think the only problem with PoE is, and I guess to some this might not be a problem, and to others it is a problem. So it depends on how you look at it. But I think a lot of people choose the Diablo games, or Last Epoch, or even Grim Dawn. To some people, PoE is just hard to get into, right? Like when you walk into that, like take the last Epoch skill tree and fucking times that by 10. like yeah. I think that's one reason that PoE has a lot of players. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of players that can look past that, but I think if you could introduce people to that a little easier, I guess, you'd have, even more. Yeah. So I think people choose Diablo or even Last Epoch over it because of that. Because Last Epoch is kind of, it kind of follows that same system, but it's easier to understand than in PoE, right? So yeah. And I get it, you just have some games that are more for a casual, and I've always thought of PoE to be kind of the tougher one, I guess. It's not really tough, but it's the tougher one. Like if one's gonna be the tougher one, PoE is it.
Do you want to get there stagnant? Could Lost Ark ever be that? Fuck no. Fuck no. The developers of Lost Ark are bricked. I mean, dude, look at the fucking look at the fairy island with all the fucking weird what are they called? What lollies? All the lollies, dude, fucked up. They're bricked. Could D4 ever get there?
No.
I think D4 has a chance of climbing the ranks. I think that's honestly out of all the games here, the only two games that could make it to this echelon, okay, to this tier of greatness in terms of ARPGs. D4 and LE. But I feel like
there's no way D4.
The people who are currently overseeing
Kelly,
D4,
sure.
with that structure, this is just not going to happen. They basically need to just fucking do a rotation. To be fair, I'm sure there's clearly competent devs, because when you play the game,
The thing with D4, and I said it in the beginning, but you know, sometimes I get those people that don't know shit in the comment section. But before D4 even went really bad, it was just released. It was kind of right on release. I had made the comment that it won't be good until it's almost over, just like D3. D3 was like awesome at the end. We got everything we ever wanted right at the fucking end of the game. Yeah. So, and that's Blizzard in a nutshell. Yeah. They build their games on punishment. It's the same in WoW. Anytime there's something in WoW that you don't like, it's intended. It's intended. They like punishing their players because in the end, punishing means you're playing longer because it's going to take you longer to get that item. And that's what they build their games on. They build it off of making sure the playtime is there versus the quality of the game, right? Yeah. And I remember making the comment that D4 won't be good until D5 is announced, basically. And and we're a long way from that, but I still stand by that.
the gameplay is good, right? When you look at the game, the gameplay,
And when I say good, I'm not saying awesome. I'm just saying good. Yeah.
it looks good. The art assets are great. I mean, look at all the horses they're adding in, guys. It's just core fundamental things like itemization, character progression, and then also they need to tweak bosses. I mean, there's an inkling of good bossing in there, but a lot of boss design is bad, I think. I've never played any of these games, so I'm not going to rate this one. So that's my tier list.
No. Go back because I have played some of those. Okay, so that's the end of his. What is remaining? He never played on December? I would have totally thought he would have because, you know, usually the high-end streamers play every single new fucking game. Yeah. But I haven't played on December either, but what is that one beside it? Van Helsing, is it? It looks like it would be a Van Helsing game. Vikings. Okay, so the ones I have played remaining in here is the Torchlight ones. Aside from that, we're done. Why is Minecraft Dungeons in this list? What the fuck? Okay, anywho. I would put Torchlight 1 A. I loved Torchlight 1. Yeah. Torchlight 1 is A. Torchlight 2 is A. And Torchlight 3 is B. Torchlight are some of my favorite games. They don't rank as high as Grim Dawn, but yeah. Yeah, I was playing a lot of Torchlight while I was playing Diablo games. So, yeah. The Torchlight ones, for those that have never played them, they're a little more cartoony. And yeah, I thought they were great, honestly. This Torchlight Infinite, I think it is. I can't remember if I ever played that. That might be a mobile game, maybe? Yeah. And I stay away from mobile games for the most part. So
Never played any of these games, so I'm not going to rate this.
Oh, whoops. So yeah. But yeah. That would be my rating. So overall, because, you know, because he definitely had some choices I didn't, but he did pretty good. I'm pretty impressed in his choices. But mine overall would have been God tier, Grim Dawn, A, D2, D3, Last Epoch, Torchlight 1, Torchlight 2. B would be Lost Ark. Did I have anything in C? Where did I have? Oh, Diablo 1 would have been A as well. Or did I put Diablo in C? I can't remember. And dog tier would be nothing because, you know, it was D4 in dog tier, but then he made this gutter trash column. So both D4 and Diablo Immortal would be in gutter trash. And then, you know, these three here I haven't played, so yeah. Let's see what the next video
that's my tier
is.
list.
Because he is.
God gamer. God gamer.
I like his outro song.
God gamer.